Imagine two people. Both work hard. Both wake up early, go to work, pay their bills, and try to do the right thing. Both earn about the same amount of money, but 20 years later, their lives look completely different. One has savings, investments, and financial freedom. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck, still worried about bills, still hoping that the next raise will finally solve everything. So what happened? Was one person smarter, luckier, more talented? Not necessarily, because one of the biggest myths about money is that working harder automatically leads to wealth. It doesn't. And that's exactly why so many hardworking people stay broke for most of their lives. Most people believe their financial problems come from not making enough money. And that sounds reasonable. After all, if you had a bigger paycheck, life would be easier, right? Well, not always. There are people making $40,000 a year who manage to save money every month. And there are people making $200,000 a year who are drowning in debt. The difference isn't always income. The difference is often behavior. Let's imagine someone named Michael. Michael gets his first real job at 23. He works hard, shows up on time, takes extra shifts, and eventually gets promoted. His salary goes up. For the first time in his life, he feels successful, so he rewards himself. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more dinners out, a few subscriptions. Nothing crazy, nothing that feels irresponsible, just small upgrades. Things that make life a little more comfortable. Then a few years later, he gets another raise. And once again, his lifestyle grows. A more expensive apartment, a more expensive car, more spending, more monthly payments, more things to maintain. By his early 30s, Michael is earning more money than he ever imagined. But something strange happens. He still feels broke. Every month his paycheck arrives, and every month it disappears. The problem isn't that Michael is lazy. The problem isn't that he doesn't work hard. The problem is that every increase in income is followed by an increase in spending. This happens to millions of people. As income rises, expenses rise right along with it. And suddenly someone earning twice as much money doesn't feel any richer than before. Now let's look at someone else. Let's call him David. David starts in a very similar position. Same age, similar job, similar income. But David follows a different rule. Every time his income increases, he saves part of the difference. Not all of it, just some of it. When he gets a raise, he enjoys part of it and invests the rest. He understands something most people never learn. Making money is important. Keeping money is even more important. And growing money is where real wealth begins. At first, the difference between Michael and David is almost invisible. A few $100s here, a few $1,000s there. Nothing dramatic, nothing exciting. But wealth is often built through small decisions repeated over long periods of time. 5 years pass, then 10, then 15, and now the gap becomes impossible to ignore. Michael has a higher income than he had before, but he also has higher expenses, more payments, more financial pressure, more stress. David, on the other hand, has built assets. His savings have grown. His investments have grown. His money has started producing more money. And that's where the game changes, because wealthy people understand something that most people don't. There are only so many hours you can work. There is a limit to how hard you can work. There is a limit to how much energy you have. But there is no limit to how long your money can work. While you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're spending time with family, your money can continue growing. That's why wealth isn't really about income. It's about ownership. The ownership of assets, businesses, investments, things that continue producing value long after the work is finished. Many people spend years trying to increase their income, and that's a good thing. You should absolutely try to earn more. But earning more money without changing your financial habits is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. The water goes in, and then it disappears. The solution isn't just earning more. The solution is learning how to keep more of what you earn and making that money work for you. Think about it this way. If every raise immediately turns into a bigger lifestyle, you'll always feel like you're starting over, no matter how much money you make. But if part of every raise becomes an investment in your future, something incredible starts to happen. Your future self begins helping your present self. Slowly at first, then faster, then much faster. This is why wealth often looks boring in the beginning. It isn't built through one big decision. It's built through thousands of small decisions. The decision to save, the decision to invest, the decision to wait, the decision to think long term. Most people want financial freedom, but very few people are willing to think differently about money. And that's why financial freedom remains rare. At the end of the day, the biggest difference between rich people and poor people is often not intelligence. It's not talent, and it's not luck. It's the habits they repeat year after year. Because wealth is rarely created overnight. It's created one decision at a time, $1 at a time, 1 year at a time. So the next time you get a raise, a bonus, or extra income, ask yourself one question. Will this money improve my future, or will it simply disappear into a bigger lifestyle? Because that single question could change your financial life forever. There's another reason why so many people stay broke. And it's not because they're stupid, it's because modern life is designed to make spending money feel good. Think about it. Every day we're surrounded by advertisements. Every app wants our attention. Every company wants our money. We're constantly told that buying something new will make us happier. A better phone, a better car, a bigger house, a more expensive vacation. And for a moment it works. Buying something new feels exciting. It gives us a small rush of happiness. But that feeling never lasts. A few days later, the excitement fades, and we start looking for the next thing. This cycle repeats itself over and over again. Spend. Feel good. Get used to it. Spend again. Most people never stop to ask a simple question. Am I buying this because I need it, or because I'm trying to feel something? The truth is that many financial mistakes have very little to do with money. They come from emotions, stress, boredom, loneliness, the desire to impress other people. And that's why financial success is often more about self-control than intelligence. Imagine two people receiving the exact same paycheck. One spends whatever is left after paying the bills. The other spends a few minutes thinking about every major purchase. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand that every dollar has a future. Every dollar spent today is a dollar that can't grow tomorrow. At first, that doesn't seem important. It's only $10, only $50, only $100. But over years, those decisions begin to compound. Small choices become big outcomes. That's why wealth is rarely built through one amazing opportunity. It's usually built through hundreds of ordinary decisions that nobody notices. The decision to wait, the decision to save, the decision to invest, the decision to think about tomorrow instead of only today. And while these choices may seem small, they create completely different futures. One person reaches their 40s with stress, debt, and financial pressure. The other reaches their 40s with freedom, options, and peace of mind. And the difference often started with choices that looked insignificant at the time. That's why building wealth isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't need to make the perfect financial decision every day. You just need to make slightly better decisions than most people, over and over again. Because in the end, wealth is not built in a single year. It's built through habits repeated for decades.